Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Good to see you all. Okay, first I'd like to introduce myself. For those who don't know, my name is Julie Reyes, Chairperson of Community Board 8. Present also is Margaret Zella, our Secretary, Roy Campbell, Secretary, the Treasurer, Karakula Rubin, District Manager, Artie Malzou, Community Coordinator, and Jalen Agrono at the front, our intern. I would like to thank Manhattan University for hosting our meeting this evening. And just for those on Zoom, any board member who is on Zoom and does not have an ADA authorization, you'll be permitted to participate, but you will not be able to vote. The ADA members for this evening are Sylvia Alexander, Lee Chung, Barbara Kale, Georgia Santiago, and Martin Wolf. And just a reminder to the board members, during the course of the board meeting, kindly raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged by the chairperson to speak. And with that, I will start on item number 2, the gallery session. We do not have anyone registered to speak at the gallery session. Since we don't have anyone to speak, I'll give the public an opportunity if anyone wants to speak. We have no one who wishes to speak, so then we'll go on to item number 3, report from the mayor's office. Ms. Elena Dow.
You can just use that mic.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year's to you all. Alina Dow, Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I do apologize. I was ill for the end of the year, so I wasn't able to see you guys. But Happy New Year's. I hope everyone enjoyed. I did just want to come and share we had some major successes last year. The mayor's are very happy to say that he had 19,000 illegal guns were off the street. 1,300 illegal smoke shops were closed down, and 7,800 New Yorkers were moved off the subways into shelters. So, and that goes with what the mayor says. He is continuing to make sure that safety is a prerequisite. He believes that safety is first. So that just goes to show, and he wants to continue to move forward with that for the New Year's. Right now, I'm not sure if anyone was able to catch it, but he did have the State of the City, and he did announce that he is looking forward to making New York City the best place to raise a family in 2025. So we're excited to see that roll out. He does want to make sure that he tackles the street homelessness. He wants to expand on free water safety programs, in addition to working with some of the families in New York City employees, student loan debt relief programs, and their families if they're eligible. And then he also wants to work to keep the schoolyards open in certain communities to allow for them to be some recreation areas and areas that are not close to parks. So we're definitely looking forward to that. On the front land, I just wanted to make sure you guys know that I am still working with addressing, I talked to DOB today regarding 601-609 KPOC. They went into the historical records. They went all the way back, they're going back to 1900s to really look deep into figure out who owns this property. It's been a big problem. Just so you guys know, I have not forgot about it. So just in case you don't hear from me, that doesn't mean that I'm not working with the agencies to figure out what's happening with some of these issues. Same thing with Tibet Avenue. Obviously, it's freezing cold outside, so we're not going to be breaking any streets down anytime soon, but I'm still working with them to figure out when the time, date, and that's going to happen. I know that there's been some other stuff happening in the community. I want to please encourage everyone to still call 311. If the mayor wants to shut down illegal smoke shops. How do we know they're there? when you guys tell them. So that's one of the things we just continue to say, make your complaints, make your complaints. In addition to that, I am making myself more available. I'm always available, but I'm making myself more available this year. So please do not hesitate to contact me. I know you guys are aware of the big fire that just happened. If you don't have heat, if someone calls you and your friend tells you that there's someone that doesn't have heat, please encourage them to make that complaint. The mayor really wants to get down on the landlords that are not providing heat so that we can sort of prevent fires that are happening because people are trying to stay warm. So other than that, my contact information, I don't know, Lena Dow, A Dow at City Hall, that nyc.gov, and my cell phone number, 914-446-8393. Thank you, guys. Oh, any questions? I don't know if they can answer that.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Which city agency is in charge of enforcing smart shots at this point? Because I know it has changed. It was the Department of Consumer Affairs and Worker Protections, and that was the Sheriff's Department.
So the sheriff is still responsible for going in. That is going to be our police enforcement arm, but they do work with our local precincts to address it as well. And then I just wanted to let you guys know that I put some of the wins for regarding the mayor out there. I know you usually don't come with literature, but I was able to provide some today. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Dow. Thank you. On to the next item, report from our President's Office, Alexis Ruiz.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope that you all had a restful holiday season. Happy to see some of you here virtually. So I have a really short report. I have sent over the borough president's report as well via email. Anyone who hasn't received it, please feel free to reach out to me and I can send that to you. But exciting news is that the application should be live by next week. So if you know anyone that is interested in applying, please have them reach out to me, or they can check the borough president's website under the community board tab and they can find that application. I promise next month I will be there with you in person. So I'm excited for that. And I'm gonna stop now. If you need anything, please let me know. I'll be here for the remainder of the meeting.
Thank you, Alexis. The next item, number 5, report from the 50th precinct. Commanding Officer Pierce online or representative.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing? This is Lieutenant Brian Wolvers from the 50th Precinct. I'm going to be standing in for Captain Pierce today since he couldn't make it. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I'm just going to go through the 28-day crime stats for the current 28-day crime stats for the 50th Precinct. Murders were the same as last 28-day period, which is at 0. Robberies were down from we're at 10 versus 18, so we're down 44%. For felony assaults, we're at 10, which is down from 15, so down 33%. We are trending up a little bit in burglaries. We are at 10 versus 8 for the last period, which is 25%, a 25% increase. Grand larcenies, we're at 35 versus 60%. I'm sorry, versus 60 for the last 28-day period. So we're down just over 41% in that category. Then grand larceny autos, we are at 17 for the 20-day period from 41 last period. So we're down 58%. So we're seeing an overall decrease in crime, approximately 42%. Then for hate crimes, we are down from, we're 1 this period versus 3, down 66%.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Lieutenant, I'll just ask, I don't know if you mentioned, but I know we have a board member who's always asking, is there any fluctuation with the hate crimes?
We're down 66% for the 28-day period versus the last 28-day period. And for the year 2024 versus 2023, we're down 50%. We took 3 hate crimes versus 6.
Thank you. Does anyone else have questions? Thank you, Lieutenant. Be safe.
Thank you.
We'll go on to item number 6, council members report. Is anyone here from council member Carmen De La Rosa's office?
I don't know how.
Is anyone here from council member Eric Jewett's office? Jenna? Jenna Klaus?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Just had to get unmuted there. Um, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope everybody has a great start to the new year and had happy holidays since we all last met. Over the holidays, our office did a lot of work. We supported food programs and donated hundreds of toys throughout the district. And we're able to deliver on some of our investments, our allocated funds from last year that went into holiday lights and food programs, like I mentioned, for families that needed food that time of year. Which ties in nicely with the fact that it is budget season, in that we are now accepting applications for discretionary funding. And I bring that up because we would love the board's help in distributing our budget feedback form. It's where we're collecting feedback from the community about where they want to see investments. So schools, libraries, parks, all of that good stuff. And that feedback form is at ericdinowitz.nyc /budget feedback. We also have ads up on Link NYC kiosks in the district. Not sure if there's any in CBA actually, but we have a QR code as well. So contact me for more information on that. And then what else do we have? Oh, from City Hall, next week, we're going to be passing our next bill in our 311 package. It's going to be for customer satisfaction surveys and agency report cards. So stay tuned for more bills in that package, but we have that one coming up next week. And then finally, as a reminder, organizations like West Bronx Housing, NILAG, and a variety of city agencies are at our offices, our office for office hours multiple times a month. West Bronx Housing is there twice a month. So if you get outreach from constituents, you can send them our way. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Okay, is anyone here from council member? Oh, I'm sorry. Jen, if you could repeat the email address for the budgetary discretionary funding?
Yes, it is Eric Denowitz .nyc /budget feedback.
Thank you, Jenna, and we'll also put it in the minutes. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Can I have anyone here from council member here in Anna Sanchez office? If there are any representatives from an elected official's office online, can you please raise your hand? This way we can just speed this process.
DA's office. DA's office.
No. Thank you. Okay, so Councilmember Eric Dinowitz is on. Councilmember Dinowitz, you're starting off the year great. We just had Jenna on, so you're on, Councilmember Dinowitz, because we're gonna start off the year correctly.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I know Jenna reported on a lot of stuff. It bears repeating, the budget feedback form is really important, really informs how we allocate funding this year and what we fight for in the city budget. Just a few important things. I don't think you didn't have a meeting last month, so I don't know if I reported on the higher education hearing we had in November, on November 25th, related to the Judge Jonathan Littman's report on campus anti-Semitism. But that was about a 5-hour long hearing we had with CUNY. I really encourage you to check out my newsletter to hear a lot of details about it. This is a constant issue we're continuing to work on. And the other big thing, on December 5th, the City Council held a vote on City of Yes. I know this board was vehemently opposed to it. I think you all know throughout this process, I was getting as much feedback as possible. In fact, days before the vote, I held a Zoom for the community. We had like 150 people register for the Zoom. And what those people who were on saw were there were a number of changes made to the City of Yes, which I think really staved off, I think, a lot of the big concerns from this board, including parking minimums. In some parts of CB8, they were reduced to a quarter. In other parts of CB8, they remained at 50%. SNAD protections remained in place. A number of other very good changes were made, in part because of the input of a lot of you here and a lot of people from the board and in this community. So I want to thank all of you for that, of your constant input and really staying on top of this. And I think most of you know, even with that, I ultimately voted against City of Yes. I was a no vote on the City of Yes proposal. Nonetheless, it passed relatively close. So what that means is for new developments, we are going to start seeing over the coming years some of the changes that were spoken about in City of Yes. But again, Community Board 8 was, I think, a lot of the big changes that were proposed are not going to impact CB8 the way the original proposal intended. So I will leave it there, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Does anyone have any questions for the council member? Okay, no one's here from Councilmember Sanchez's office, so we'll go on to the next item 7.
Thank you.
The Bronx District Attorney's Office Representative Jeffrey Pena. The representatives will each get 1 minute. Mr. Pena?
Yes, thank you. Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Pena. I am a community engagement coordinator for the Bronx District Attorney's Office. We are having our Re-Entry Employment Resource Fair on Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Unfortunately, we're still trying to secure the location, but we're still having it. We're just trying to find a place. So people that are interested can bring their resumes, cover letters, ID, identification, certifications, OSHA credentials. We will have employers on site, interviews on site, and educational opportunities and more. So once we have the location approved, I will send out the flyer to the board. So if anyone's interested, please let the board know. Thank you.
Excuse me. Is anyone here from Public Advocate's Office? Is there anyone from the New York City Controller's Office? Mr. Greer Mayhew?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Grim Mayhew. I'm the Bronx Borough Director in the Office of the New York City Controller. I have a couple of updates. The first one is that we released late last year a report entitled Street Safety in the Era of Micro-Mobility. It basically outlines strategic regulatory and infrastructural framework to address e-bikes, mopeds, and e-scooters, and the safety and quality of life concerns that have sprung up throughout the city. The plan calls for various recommendations, including cutting off the supply of unsafe and illegal vehicles, enhancing accountability for riders who violate traffic laws through more predictable and consistent enforcement. Secondly, We also had our NYCHA Accountability webinar in collaboration with our NYCHA Resident Audit Committee. The committee, which comprises of a number of NYCHA tenant leaders throughout the city, was tasked to assist the controller in determining which issues our office should investigate. As a result, we published several reports, including an audit on the oversight over contractors for selected repair and maintenance work, and also a proposal for real-time resident feedback tool to generate vendor scorecards and hold contractors accountable. All those plans are on our website at controller.nyc.gov. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next representative is from Senator Robert Jackson's office, Sadia Pinsack.
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody.
Can you share some?
There's mics on, 2 mics on each side. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. I'll keep it brief. The senator is in budget mode. Obviously, the state legislature has money to give out for community board community-based organizations. Our applications are open online at expense.senatorjackson.com. Again, expense.senatorjackson.com. Also, capital is also available. That is at capital.senatorjackson.com. The deadline is February 3rd. No extensions. Happy to take any questions about expense, budget, and other items. No questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Next from Senator Gustavo Rivera's office. Brett Schneider is no longer with his office. I wasn't here with him well. I truly do. So we have Flavia Salazar.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I'll be quick so no song comes up. My name is Flavia Salazar. I'm the Director of Strategy and Operations for Senator Rivera. I will be the new liaison for CV8 moving forward. Previously, I was assigned the 48th Precinct and CV6. So I look forward to getting to know you more and working with you. I just have 2 updates for you. We have 2 events coming up. The first one is we have a free housing and immigration assistance clinic on Friday, January 24th. You can call our office to make an appointment. The second one is our DOF day on February 7th. This is a rent freeze and homeowners tax break screening day. This is SHE, STAR, E-STAR, SCREE, and DREE. So if you have any questions to see if you're eligible, please reach out to our office at 718-933-2034. Thank you.
At the senator's office. Okay, if there's any representatives from Assemblymember De Los Santos' office or Alvarez's office, please raise your hand. And in the interim, we'll go on to Assemblymember Jeffrey Dinowitz's representative, Nais Gonzalez.
Hi everyone. I hope you had a great New Year, happy holidays. Our office doesn't have any updates right now, so we're just observing, but always feel free to email, call, and stop by the office. We do have our free notary service every day. Everyone in the office is a notary, so that is free to all constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative for Ritchie, Congressman Richie Torres, Joe McManus.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joseph McManus, and I represent the congressman. With this new Congress, the congressman has been reappointed to the Financial Services Committee. And the one big issue we're working on is the fire on Wallace Avenue on the 2900 block. If you need to contact me for any federal issues, the best way is by email, joseph.mcmanus@mail.house.gov. And if you need to contact the office, the number is 718-503-9610. I hope everybody had a good New Year's, and thank you, and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Is anyone from Congressman Arpaionis Scott's office present? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Walker. Mr. McManus?
Yes?
The number, everyone is going to write it down for now. and giving email and, telephone numbers, that would be great. She's asking if you could repeat the telephone number, the contact number.
Sure. 718-503-9610. You get it?
And the email?
Joseph dot McManus, MCMANUS @mail.house.gov. All right?
Okay, just to remind people, we also have all the contact information on our website, and we can also email it to you at the office. Okay, it's on the first page of the website, but we can also email it to you as well. Okay, we'll go on with Rebecca Brown Harvey from New York Public Libraries. And while we're waiting for the board members on Zoom, if you can kindly unmute yourself, our next item is roll call. So all the board members, please unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Good evening, we can hear you. Is that Rebecca? Okay, so while we're waiting for her, we'll go on. Roll call.
Hi, good evening. I apologize. I'm having trouble with my mic.
Okay, go ahead, we hear you.
Okay. I don't have anything to present, but good evening. I'm glad to be here and representing the New York Public Library Riverdale branch. Did you have any questions for me?
We see no hands from the floor, but we welcome you and thanks for participating.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're gonna go on to roll call. I'll hand it off to Sylvia Alexander. Debbie Allen. Present. Constance Barnes Watson. Bob Bender.
Here.
Carol Blake. Kelly Buford. Present. Joy Campbell Privateer. Present. Sebastian Chilapoli. Present. Lee Chong.
Present.
Dr. Wayne DeBeetham.
Present.
Ingrid De Leon. Margaret Della. Present. Johanna Edmondson. Nicholas Fazio.
Present.
Stephen Fruit.
Present.
David Gellman. Absent. Mary Ellen Gibbs.
Present.
Rosemary Ginty. Absent. Dr. Julia Gomez. Absent. Edward Green.
Present.
Emily Hausman. Rashida Hilliard. Barbara Kale.
Present.
Rabbi Bob Kaplan.
Present.
Josh Land.
Here.
Oscar Martinez. Absent. Charles Merdler. Absent. Omar Murray. Absent. Oh, okay, great. Angel Ortega.
Present.
Julie Reyes. Present. Adriana Rivera. Present. Daniel Rowan.
Here.
Georgia Santiago.
Here.
Ramdat Singh.
Here.
Jessica Sosa. Absent. Laura Spalter. Cesar Tabar Acosta.
Howdy.
Jill Towns. Deborah Travis. Sergio Villaverde. Absent. Kevin Wade.
Here.
Karen Walker. Martin Walpole.
Present.
Okay, and who was the other person who just walked in? Johanna. Johanna, okay, great. Present. Thank you, Margaret. So we have a quorum, so we'll go on with the meeting. Item number 9, approval of the board minutes for December 10th, 2024. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay, there being none. I vote to make motion to approve the minutes. Anybody object? Abstentions? All approved. Discussion of the item number 10, discussion of the executive committee meeting minutes of December 4th. Any discussions? Okay, there being none, we'll go on to item number 11, the treasurer's report resolutions.
Good evening and happy new year, everyone. This is the treasurer's report for January 2025. Following our December budget mod, the budget for fiscal year 2025 was increased to $25,483, pardon me, of which $14,302 is remaining. If you look at section 1.1, item code 100, 947, item code 600, $2,800 was spent on cleaning, and code 400, 7434. And this is the breakdown. It's for our wonderful intern, Jalen. So of that amount, 1,000 was paid for July and 1,000 for August. And both of those amounts were reflected in the October treasurer's report. $1,000 she was paid for September, and that was reflected in December's treasurer's report. And there's also $1,000 for her November compensation and $1,000 for her December compensation. $63 for travel and $24.83 for a phone bill. So not all of it was for Jalen. 1.2, there are no budget mods. 1.3, 1888, those are the encumbered funds, not yet paid. And that's her compensation for November and December. 1,000 for November and 888 for December. And finally, 1.4, our total budget, we now have 2347 remaining for rent and energy.
I'd like to make a motion to add a resolution to tonight's agenda on the treasurer's report. Second, Mary Ellen. Those opposed? Abstain? Okay, so.
This is an amendment to the December 10th, 2024 resolution dated January 14th, 2025. Whereas on September 12th, 2024, Community Board Aid approved a stipend of approximately $1,000 a month for the continuation of the office intern's appointment until December 31st, 2024. And whereas there was an error in the Community Board Aid resolution for the continuation of our paid intern dated December 10th, 2024, which provided for the continuation of the internship from November 1st until January 31st, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that the December 10th, 2024 resolution be amended to note that a stipend of approximately $1,000 would be appropriate for the continuation of the internship from January 1st to 2025 to January 31st, 2025. So we're correcting the error. We're actually, this resolution is just continuing for Jalen for the month of January. And thank you to Marty for reviewing this.
Any discussions, questions, or comments? Okay, so then make motion to vote. Second, Mary Ellen. Okay, those who oppose the resolution, raise your hand. If anyone on Zoom opposed, raise your hand or say something. Those abstaining? And all approved. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Joy. Okay, so then we'll go on to the next item. Chairperson's report. Okay, first, I'd just like to again say Happy New Year to all. It seems like a long time. And I'd also like to say thank you to Sergio. And for the members who also showed up with him last month's board meeting, I think you guys froze a little bit. But thank you, Sergio, for holding down the fort and doing the board meeting and the executive meeting. I'm trying to be as quick as you, so let's see how it goes. I'd like to acknowledge, Artie, I'm not gonna put you on the spot because I know you don't have a camera. But no, you still do it. I had it in my report last month. Artie's been here for over a year. I can't believe it's been over a year, and I just want to acknowledge his work ethics, his demeanor, his professionalism. Thank you, Artie. And then I have, an ad hoc committee has been formed. I've had a few inquiries from some board members, and Ms. Karen Walker and Jill Townsend. Oh, with a big star. I can't see who it is. It's weird. I have to get it fixed. But Ms. Walker and Jill Townsend, we're putting together an ad hoc committee. They're going to explore again committee memberships and structures. The board has, every few years, they always take a look at it to see how we can combine committees, look at the membership. I know there's a few committees that they are low on membership. There's some committees that some people say maybe we should combine them. So they're going to take a look at it as well. So for those people who don't know who you two are, Ms. Walker and Jill, can you just raise your hands and you can get in touch with them and they'll be in touch with the board as well. And once they have their findings, they'll report it to the Law, Rules, and Ethics Committee, and then to the Executive Board, and then the board. Any questions? Okay. So the next item, everyone should have received a, because I have the resolution waiting for the Irving Latimer. I give it correctly. Okay, the Irving Latimer Community Service Award. I've put together a committee of 5 members. And when I say your name, if you could just stand up so that people, I don't think all board members know who everyone is. Cesar Tovar Acosta. Constance Barnes Watson. Sebastian Chitlapilli. Say your last name, please. Say it. Chitlapilli. Okay. Stephen Fruit. And Mary Ellen Gibbs. Thank you. So this award is named after a past board member, Irving Latimer, who was a wonderful, energetic person. A long time active board member. Irving was very civic minded and had a wealth of knowledge that he willingly shared with everyone. He was on the board until, how old was he? The 99 or 100, I forget. But it was 100. He was on board. He was fantastic. And he did a lot of work for the community. So the criteria for this award is that the nominee has acted on a volunteer basis to improve or enhance the quality of life of those living or working in the Bronx Community Board area. The committee will meet following the board meeting. And at least to select a chair and a committee meeting dates if possible and anything else. So now the resolution, and I apologize for the lateness, but everyone received the resolution on the ad hoc committee, and it described how the committee was formed in 1992 to recognize the service of volunteers. And the resolution also states that the committee will present at the April or May executive committee their nominees. And then following that, it will go to the board. And at the June meeting, the award will be given to whoever the board selects. Are there any questions? Okay. And again, I apologize for the lateness that you received this. So anyway, so is anyone opposed to this resolution? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. And then my next item is I wish to give thanks to Board Member Rosemary Ginty on bringing the issue of our intern status of the status of the to board's attention. we do not wish to have our intern be an employee. And Rosemary brought up some valid questions at last month's meeting, which we are following up on to make sure that unintentionally, we did not make our intern an employee. Quite frequently, the treasurer and the district manager, they receive documents from, what was it, OMB, when you guys did the fiscal report? They receive documents sometimes at the very last minute, and sometimes the same day or the day before, and it really isn't conducive to doing a report so quickly, especially when it deals with numbers. If the report isn't at the office, isn't received at the office in a timely manner, the treasurer's report will just be given a month later. If anything substantial needs to be addressed and information given to the board, we will do so. But the report itself, so that we don't have any mishaps, or make sure that the numbers are correct. If it's not in a timely manner. And that also goes with the executive minutes. We'll have an executive meeting on a Wednesday, and then we have a board meeting on a Tuesday. And sometimes when people are working and it's a lot to do, sometimes you just can't do it. So the video will be up, and the video of meetings, they also take place of board minutes. So it's not like we're not going to be in compliance. So anyone, any questions on those two items? And if you don't have any now, you can always get to me later. And we're still looking for board space, and office. If you have anything in your neighborhood, please let us know. And any meeting venues. And that's it for my report. So I'll go on to the district management.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Farah Kiel Rubin. I'm the district manager. I want to wish everyone a happy new year. As you know, the office was closed for the holidays, so I just want you to know we all had a very restful and enjoyable week with our families, so thank you. For the FY26 Community District Needs Statement has officially been released, and we are still awaiting agency responses, but I have posted this on our webpage, on the homepage, and also we'll email these to you. But again, as soon as we get the agency responses, we will email that to you. I want to thank the Bronx Botanical Gardens, who gave us about 30 tickets to distribute to their annual train show event on January 11th, and we sent them to the children and families at the Kingsbridge Heights Community Center. Last month also, we were happy to receive and distribute 50 tickets to our local family shelter for the annual New York Yankees Winter Wonderland event for the families on December 13th. I also did not get a chance to congratulate Artie last month for making it through his first year at Bronx CBA. I thank him for his commitment and his quality of work that he brings to the office and the board, and his sense of humor. He helps us get through the day, so thank you. I held my monthly district service cabinet meeting on January 3rd, and my next meeting will be on February 4th. Again, I always ask any issues you have that you want me to follow up on with our city agencies, just send it to me. Every month I meet with them and we discuss all those issues. Also, I did go to the Bronx Borough Board meeting this month at the Bronx Borough President's office. There was a very informative presentation from the MTA regarding their 5-year capital plan for 2025 to 2029. I will send a copy of that presentation to all of you to look through. As you know, our office is closed for Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 20th. I also recently met with the team from Con Edison to discuss future gas main replacement work in our district. This will be in the area of West 246th Street, north on Henry Hudson Parkway, and also on Independence Avenues. I will get a map and details of that work which will begin the beginning of February for the next 12 to 14 months. We'll update the community and the board of this work, and it is to upgrade the gas mains to a better quality and more sustainable gas main. Also, I will release the February meeting calendar shortly. Did send that to all of our chairs. If you could just respond, if you are confirmed or not, any changes, I would like to release that as soon as possible. And that's my report for today. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. Okay, we'll go on to item number 14, committee reports and resolutions. I just say be mindful of if it's in minutes and it's really something we can read, just let the members read, but do give us highlights. We'll start with the aging committee, Mary Ellen Gibbs.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. We didn't have a meeting for this month in January. We will have a meeting February 14th. I'll have Department of Finance speaking on SCREE and DREE so that our seniors know that they can freeze their rent. A lot of them don't know. So that's my report.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Favorite Ellen?
This is the budget report on behalf of Chair David Gilman. Fiscal year 2025, we are midway through fiscal year 2025, which ends on June 30th. Fiscal year 26 begins on July 1st. The budget hearing about the mayor's response to our fiscal year 2026 submissions was held prior to the October board meeting. And we anticipate receiving the mayor's budget proposal shortly. And if punctual, we will have a final budget hearing in Ren's public gallery preceding the February board meeting next month, where residents will have an opportunity to individually comment on the mayor's fiscal year 2026 budget details, which will be finalized and voted upon by the City Council in June. Fiscal year 2025, committee board 8 committees have begun to look at fiscal year, I'm sorry, did I say 2025? I meant 27, sorry. Finally, CBA committees have begun to look at the fiscal year 2027, which begins July 1st, 2026. Now is the time when each of the committees should be discussing what they want for their capital and expense budget priorities for the fiscal year. And January 2025, that's the initial conversation and review of the prior year's submissions. Next month, the items will be memorialized. In March. They will be prioritizing, and in April, finalization of the priorities. And that's the budget report for January.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, we'll go to economic development. Records reflect that Oscar Martinez came in.
I'll not have my back to people. So. Good evening. We held our meeting last Tuesday, January 7th. We also held a commercial corridor walkthrough through the Skyview Shopping Center. We had members of CLAP, which is Commercial Lease Assistance Program, with us, and also the Main Street Alliance, just letting the business owners in the area and the shopping center know the resources that they have. It was pretty good. It's very cool. Our next meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, is February 4th. I'm looking to have members or someone from SBS there, Small Business Services. And if you would like to come, please do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar. Next is Education, Libraries, and Cultural Affairs, Sylvia Alexander. Environment and Sanitation, Daniel Rowan.
Okay, we did not have a meeting in December. Our next meeting is tomorrow night, so please come, especially if you're in the committee. The Department of Sanitation will be there to talk about snow removal, because that is their job. And if you have any questions for them, come to the meeting, because they'll be attending. Otherwise, we're gonna talk about the budget and see in the minutes that now exist.
Thank you, Daniel. Any questions? We'll go on to Health, Hospital, and Social Services, Rabbi Kaplan.
You and please, I'll try and rotate this so that I won't have my back to any one person for a long time. We did not have a meeting in December. We did have one in November, which focused on mental health with a representation from the Department of Health and Mental Health. We will have a meeting on January 27th and be focusing on the same issue on mental health. We're hoping to make some decisions about bringing some of the trainings that were offered to us for the community around mental health issues and bring it into the community over the spring. And we will also be discussing budgetary items. And that was it.
Thank you. Questions?
Yes, sir. Are you addressing any mental health? Mental health is a generalized issue. It's youth to older age. There's a mental health crisis in the city of New York right now. The governor is focusing on it, the mayor is focusing on it. And it is something that we are trying to figure out what opportunities are available within the context of the Bronx. And frankly, there aren't that many. One of the most horrendous things I've ever heard, and if you're talking about younger people, is that the first time most males, young males in the Bronx, see a mental health professional is in handcuffs.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Rabbi. We'll go on to housing, Rashida Hilliard.
Hello, okay, I'm gonna go in the corner. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rashida Hilliard, Chair of Housing, and we had a meeting on Monday, December 23rd. At that meeting, we had ARC, the Association for Riverdale Condos and Co-ops. They spoke about FISP and parapet laws, and particularly how they affect condos and co-ops. On Monday, January 27th, we're going to have a representative from the Department of Buildings come to speak about how they can service their buildings, including NYCHA, co-ops, condos, and any other building that's under their jurisdiction. So that's where we are right now. And if any of you want to join, please do. You can join by Zoom or you can come to the office.
Thank you, Rashida. Questions? You're welcome. And we'll go on to land use, Chuck Mertler.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Chuck.
We had a meeting so far, and one issue came up. We have adopted a resolution denying the application on Henry Hudson Parkway for non-cooperation on the part of the applicant, and because the applicant refused even to make an application to get an approval from the Parks Department for appropriate trees. So we turned it down. Next meeting will be on, I believe, February the 3rd.
Okay, so make a motion. Well, it's coming from the committee. So we have the resolution. Any discussion on the resolution for the land use?
I apologize. I'm having trouble with a brand new computer and I can't hear you well.
Oh, that's okay. Nick has a question or a comment. Nick Fauser.
Chuck, can you hear me?
I'm here.
So on the second whereas, it says among them trees that appear to be on public property. Are they on public property or do they appear to be on public property?
The claim is that the trees are in public property, but the trees are right in the middle of what the driveway was and they refused to either move the driveway, tell us what they would do by way of mitigation or the like. It was about as bad behavior as I've seen on an applicant. And
Okay,
this is
so
not the
the
first
answer
time.
is yes, they are on public property.
Yes, they are, but they have
Thank you.
refused, wait, they have flatly refused to go to the Parks Department to get the appropriate waiver.
I just wanted that clarification. Thank you, Chuck.
Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to vote to disapprove this application. Is anyone against the resolution? Abstaining? I'm just gonna wait for the Zoom people, so then all are in favor of this resolution. Okay, Chuck, are there any other reports from you?
Yes, on land use, there's also the subcommittee dealing with Van Colton Village.
Okay. Marty, are you going to report that?
Yes, well, unfortunately, the developer who is on 3111 Henry Hudson Parkway and the one on Van Colton Village is the same person. And unfortunately, he doesn't like us at all and has not been terribly cooperative, as Chuck has indicated. So we are doing our best to find out on behalf of the community what his plans are for construction and to what degree the neighbors will be troubled by construction and the activities taking place. I am going, as soon as I hear more information from the community, I plan to present to the developer a list of specific questions, and hopefully he'll respond to them. Though he refuses to meet with us again, he refuses to be involved in a public session that is televised and recorded. And he has said, ask me a question, I'll answer it. And so we'll take him up on that.
Okay, thank you, Marty. While I have you, we'll go on to law, rules, and ethics for your report.
Okay, just a couple of things I want to touch on. A couple of months ago, I indicated or wrote and was misinterpreted by, had been misinterpreted that I said board members could not abstain. I never said that. I never implied that. What I have suggested and continue to suggest is that as public officials, when a resolution comes before us and our reason for not voting is because we haven't done our homework to find out what the information involved concerns. And so I personally, this is a personal opinion, I am often distressed when the result of a vote on a resolution is carried by the people who abstain rather than by the people who vote. Abstentions count. Abstentions go along with the negative votes, because unless the resolution receives a majority of positive votes, it does not pass. So I would ask, as fellow board members, when a resolution is coming forward, and usually we know days in advance, please do some research. Please call whomever you want to call for background information. And that would be, and then a vote taken is what the vote is. And we all live with that. So that's the one issue. The other issue is the resolution that was passed earlier this evening concerning the Irving Latimer Community Service Award. Was the original award given by Board 8, and it was known then, is known now, why it's being given, who is qualified to receive it, and there are no questions later on as to what was our intent. And I'm hoping that the other committees that give out awards on behalf of Board 8 will follow suit. I know that there is discussion going on, and I think all of us look forward to hearing from them. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Any questions? Okay, thanks, Marty. We'll go on to Parks and Recreation. Deb Travis.
This working? All right. So greetings, everyone. Good evening. There was no Parks Committee meeting in December. We do have one coming up in January though, January 22nd, Wednesday, 7 p.m. At the board office. We will be discussing a presentation by DEP regarding the very final plan for the Tibbetts Greenway. So this is a big project in the works for many, many years. Many people on this board have worked on it for many, 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 many years. So I invite you to come to the committee meeting and find out what the actual final plan is ahead of the DDC finalization, which will be happening in a few more weeks. So that we ask them to just come and show us what you finally decided. Parks and DOT will also be in attendance to answer questions as they come up. So please join us. And we'll also be discussing capital and expense budget priorities. So if you've got ideas for parks or ways to make parks better, or your local parks need improvements, please bring those to the committee so we can have them as part of the conversation. I think so.
Thank you, Deb. Any questions? Okay, we'll go on to Public Safety. Ed Green.
Good evening, everybody. Deb has a little more energy than me, so I'm going to sit for this one. So Public Safety Committee, we had several resolutions. We had 2 renewals, and we have one resolution. It's really 4 applications posed as one resolution, and the explanation for that. And it's a new application. It's a catering company for Manhattan College. They're Gourmet Dining LLC, and they are applying for liquor licenses in 4 different locations. One of them that we're sitting in tonight. The other is, well, Kelly Commons is this place. You got Squarey Hall, Drydy Gymnasium, and Thomas Hall, 4th floor President's Dining Room. So they all applied for new applications for full liquor licenses in those 4 locations. They signed 2 a.m. closing agreements for each location. And I propose we vote for all of these as a block. The renewals, there was no issues. According to the 50th precinct, no problems with the businesses. And the committee voted for all of these applications unanimously. So I would make a proposal that we vote for them all as a block for the interest of time. Yeah, it says it on the application. Right. Well, I mean, he has a friendly amendment. Does anybody have any opinion on this? I mean, either way.
Helen.
That hasn't happened yet. And it may still be falling on college. So I don't think it's another way.
That's the way they wrote out the application.
Right, off the top of my head, I would say that this is the way we received this application, that's on the application. We've been in contact with the SLA, not specifically about this, they have not said anything about it. I'd like to just go ask the stands, if anyone wants to abstain, go for it.
We can, party works with your committee. When he contacts SLA, he'll get the correct name of it. For those who are opposed to the substance of the resolution can abstain or oppose. For the name issue, let's not be here all night on the name party. We'll check with that. And then let's move on.
Sounds good to me, call the vote.
Okay? Those opposed? Those abstaining? So approved.
Okay, so that's all our resolutions at our last meeting. I just will say, there was a lot of reports of abandoned cars, and we had a Riverdale Press reporter there who actually wrote a story about some of the things we were speaking about with the abandoned cars, and voila, they were removed. A couple of them were removed the next day. So I don't know, maybe we need to be a little more vocal about things that are going on in the neighborhood. We also discussed Priscilla's Law, which is a local 606 intro bill 606, which is legislation that's being proposed in the city council about licensing and registering e-bikes, and we will continue to have that conversation at our next public safety meeting, which will be on January 21st. That's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. at the 50th precinct. It's in person, no Zoom, and all are welcome.
Thank you. Any questions? Benson. So we'll move on to traffic and transportation. Josh Lynn.
Good evening. The meeting on Thursday at the board office. We will not have any SAPO applications, but there are two tonight that we need to review. One is from SAR 655 West 254th Street in the Bronx, Saturday, January 11th. What they have is valet parking, and so they need to shut the street down. I don't need to read it, it's in front of me there.
No, they've already.
Yeah, and then the SAPO application, the bio bus, if you've all read that one. Can we vote on the SAPO application? Any comments?
Okay, we'll make motion. Application for the 56th anniversary celebration. Any discussion on that? Okay, anyone? Stephen? Yeah. Any opposed? Abstain? One abstain? One abstention, but you're abstaining with cause.
I'm an administrator for SAR.
Because you're abstaining, ineligible to vote, so it doesn't count as a no, rather than just how now abstention. Okay, so then it's approved, and then the next one is at PS 315.
Yes, this is
Any discussion?
Tuesday, February 4th.
Okay. Any abstentions? Opposed? Okay, so that passes as well, Josh.
Terrific, unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to you, Ramnath Singh.
Hey everyone, good evening, happy new year. We won't have a youth committee meeting in January in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. We will have a meeting in February, date forthcoming. But we're having a lot of exciting things happening at youth committee. We are a small but mighty committee. Feel free to come on and join on the Zoom and learn what we're doing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Ramnath. Questions? Okay, so then we'll go on to Special Committee on Racial Equity. Oh, this month you have every month? You have something to talk about?
Well, yeah, we're next. The Hudson River
Every
Green.
month I ask you, you say, I'll let you know.
Well, okay, so
Okay.
here's breaking
Okay.
news. We're actually going to have a meeting.
The Special Committee on Hudson River Greenway. Bob
We
Bender.
will be meeting, and we will be meeting on the first available date, which happens to be March 27th. So you will all have the great privilege of hearing me say this again at the February meeting and then at the March meeting.
Great, thank you, Bob. Okay. Special Committee on Racial Equity, Margaret.
Hi, everyone. We met this last week on Thursday. And a couple of things I wanted to highlight for you. We have, as I mentioned, a resource guide. We're posting flyers, ideally in the community, and we're going to have them available or accessible in Spanish, Bengali, Chinese Simplified, Korean, and English. So we're going to be rolling that out as soon as I can get the edits together. But that's something we'd like to share. And it's a way for the community to see the flyer, access it in their language, or increase the size, visibility of the flyer, and be able to take advantage of the resources within the document itself, which is lengthy. So we welcome your feedback. We want it short and punchy. We also want it informative because hate is an amorphous thing. So we want people to know what is available to them within New York City and New York State. Our minutes should be posted forthcoming. Thank you to Cesar for putting all of the minutes together. Bless you. And the other thing is, our next meeting is on March 6th. Hopefully, my dear colleague Bob Bender has a speaker for us, and we also have hopefully the Office of New York State Division of Human Rights coming to share with us what the governor's office is doing in response to hate crimes and other divisive measures throughout the state. Bob, do you have any confirmation for a speaker? Should I wait till next week?
No, we will have a speaker, but I have to confirm the date, so I don't want to say publicly who it will be at this point.
Okay, great. Lastly, we really want engagement from all standing committees. As we mentioned earlier, hate is pervasive and it's evident in all of the areas that impact our standing committees. We'd like to have a community event in the future, but we'd also like you to raise hate and how to mitigate it, how to resolve it, and how to bring stronger community ties in whatever way your community addresses it in your standing committee. So we'd love to hear more from you. Please join us on March 6th for our next meeting at 7 p.m. at the office. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, so then we'll go into miscellaneous. Mary Ellen?
I forgot something on my aging committee. So Barbara, now that I have you as a captive audience right now, can you hear me? Barbara, Kale?
Yes.
Hi, would you be my vice chair?
I'll do my best.
Would you be my Valentine? No, would you be my vice chair?
I will do my best. My capacity may be limited, but I'll do my best. You bet.
Thank you so much.
And then, just Daniel made a comment, and even though it was funny, it's sad, because some of the committees, the members are not showing up, and we need to do better. And even if it's not your committee, you can still attend the meeting, especially on Zoom. And if that is not your committee, you do not have to show your face. So you can have dinner and just tune in, especially if there's a guest speaker. You know, we need to support each other and get a little bit more involved. And I'll be calling everyone individually, but you make that point and it's so true, it's sad, you know, so. There's a lot of good people in here with a lot of good ideas, so let's get moving. Okay, does anyone else have any miscellaneous? Jayla, would you like to say anything? Okay, thanks for everything. Okay, so then we're off to item number 16. We're going to go into executive session based on open meetings law 105.f on personnel matters. So we're going to ask those who are not board members to please exit. When we come back, we're going to adjourn. So if you want to stay for adjournment, otherwise, thank you for coming. And for those on Zoom, we're going to take you off, except for the board members. Please stay online. Around that?
Motion to go into executive session.
Okay, Rhonda made a motion. Second. Any opposed? Abstentions? You can turn it off. Okay, so we're back out of executive session at 8:36 p.m. I'm gonna make a motion to submit a resolution from the floor on a merit increase salary for our district manager. Any seconds?
Second.
Okay, anyone opposed, abstain, all in favor, thank you. Okay, so everyone has a copy. How would you go, how would you add the resolution? See, I'm learning finally. Okay, that was to add the resolution, so now we have to vote on the resolution. Thank you. Okay, so the resolution is to have a merit increase salary raise for our district manager, Farah Rubin, to give an annual 10% increase of the salary, which will go from 95,000 to 104,500. Any abstention, any discussion? Any abstentions? Opposed? Okay, in favor? Okay, so would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn? Okay, who wants to stay? Oh, that's right. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'll see you next month. See you on Zoom on all the different committee meetings. And the Irving Latimer committee members, please stay behind.